So my name is Deepak Mallya. I'm the executive sous chef here at the Ritz Hotel in London. And the dish I'm going to be presenting will be the Sika Deer with parsnip, Ritz honey and juniper. So for the first step of our deer will be to take the deer off of the saddle. So we do this just by removing the top loins and trimming up any sinew and any skin that's left on the loins. With the bones and any skin and sinew, we make a stock and a sauce. The next step on the dish will be the parsnip puree. So we take parsnips, we vacuum them with some salted butter, steam them and blend them, emulsify with a little bit of double cream to give that silky, smooth texture. We then have some baby parsnips, which we cook them in our Ritz honey. So we're lucky enough to have beehives on the top of the Ritz, where we produced around 90 jars of honey last year, which is exclusively used within the Ritz restaurant, on the cheese trolley and in some of our desserts and in some of our dishes in the restaurant. So we caramelize a little bit of our Ritz honey, drop the parsnips in with a little bit of butter, thyme and some salt, and we just gently braise them in the oven until they're nice and tender, and use the cooking liquor to glaze them up. We have a beautiful monarch pear, which has been poached very gently in a pear liquor using Pois Williams and Douglas fir and fresh juniper berries. For the cooking of the venison, we cook the venison at 140 degrees in the oven and probe it to around between 40 and 42 degrees, allow that to rest. Then we roast it very classically, some very hot oil and butter, get a beautiful caramelization. We drop some crushed garlic, some thyme, some bay leaf, juniper berries and black pepper in there. Baste that venison, rest it again for a couple of minutes. Then with some of the reduced venison sauce, we glaze the venison and we carve the venison and dust it with a powder made out of pink peppercorn, Sarawak peppercorn and Madagascar peppercorn, which will just give a fantastic hit of pepper, which will complement the sweetness from the sauce and the pear and the parsnip. It's then topped with a little bit of finely grated orange zest and some picked thyme leaves. On the side, we serve a little puff pastry waffle. So it's puff pastry which has been filled with some caramelized Roscoff onions, compressed in a waffle press, cut out with a little cutter. We serve a little bit of Roscoff onion puree on top of that and finish it with some thyme leaf. On the bottom of the plate, we place the juniper, nutmeg and clove powder in a ring. We then have a rochet of the parsnip puree. We place the beautifully glazed baby parsnip in the Ritz honey. Pear fondant, which has been warmed through in the pear liquor on the bottom. We have the glazed chestnut in between the parsnip and the puree. The kalettes dressed in the beautiful Bernadette dressing. We have a few dots of the cassis gel. We have a caramelized walnut sitting on top of that. And lastly, we place the glazed venison on the plate. We serve the waffle on the side and the hot venison jus in the jug. So here we have our Sika Deer, parsnip, Ritz honey and juniper.